before we were eating vegetation and before we was eating meat, we ate platinum group metals. And that's why we was able to move through the dimensions unobstructed with or without our physical form. Because once we facilitated the higher vibration of the platinum group metals into the physiological form, we are able to warp in and out of dimensions by placing our minds in a different dimension. It'll drag the body through. I'm not familiar with the diamond water. I have to look into it to see what's in it. But I done had so many different ones sent to me that most of them been garbage. But every now and then I get one that's really good. Like the Vitamin Shop got a silver water that's excellent. And but the monoatomic material is what they called, and they used to call it manna, and they used to call it couscous in Egypt, which means what is it, what is it? Various things like that. Then when we take that, we are allowed to become Atlanteans again. Our skin won't be copper-based, iron-based. It'll be copper-based, magnesium-based, and it won't produce a brown to black pigment. It'll produce like a green to aquamarine pigment. And this will affect all humans on Earth pigment to the same level, no matter what they're from, because the silvers will turn you blue. The golds will turn you like a navy blue when it processes with the copper, and the iron will turn you brown. So when you see us that's got the dark skin and the woolly hair and this brown pigment that we are, this is actually rust, oxidized iron, interacting with your melanin. Your melanin is brown already. It's actually so dark brown it look black, but it's actually a dark shade of brown, the darkest shade of brown you can get without being black. And when it interact with the rust, we get our pigment to look like this. Now, when it interact with the chlorophyll in the plants, you get various shades and colors because the chlorophylls have different intensities or levels of the chemicals involved. So then you get your red leaves, your blue leaves, your green leaves, then you get your brown woods, and you got all these different colors that comes from the melanin intermingling with the chlorophyll of the plant. And it's probably some other chemicals that comes in depending on the color produced. And so these are things that we need to be understanding about improving the mind. Now, a lot of people hate to read, but reading, first of all, all of the wealthy people in the history of the world says that thanks, sweetie. So in the history of the world, all the leaders say readers are leaders and leaders are readers. Why are they saying that? Well, for one, the more you read, the more you expand your mental processor. And the more you read, you want to look at your mind as like a computer, like a laptop. You got RAM and you have hard drive, and then from there you move into what they call the cloud or cyberspace. Cyberspace in the realm of the human mind is called universal consciousness. Our hard drive is called our subconscious, and our RAM is called our short-term memory. So if we overload the RAM, then the next goal is to overload the hard drive. Once you overload the hard drive, it's going to push everything into the mainstream of universal consciousness because there's nothing else to put in there because everything is there, it's organized, and it's put in the files. All of the files are full. Now, the only place you've got left to think from is universal consciousness. When you think from universal consciousness, you are unrestricted. You are unrestricted. This is what they call it being enlightened. You are unrestricted mentally. Now you have to translate the mental impressions into your three-dimensional reality. And this is why the next thing is writing. So reading is weightlifting for the brain. Writing is the sauna and the steam room after. And if you look up the science of flow, Flow, the science of flow deals with what we call, in computer terminology, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Well, flow works on that principle where it's more circulatory. Flow work from what you take in, you put out in equal proportion. And you continue this in the network. You create a cycle, a loop. And if you put out good and good come back, and you keep putting out good and more good come back, pretty soon you have developed yourself into a heaven generator. This is what we got to get back to, because before the rape campaign, the women automatically done this. They didn't have naggers. They had women that'll tell you to put you in your place, but they didn't have naggers. They didn't have those women that felt so powerless that they have to keep on. Yes, rhythm and flow. You're exactly right, Renzo. Rhythm and flow. That's the science. It's the same as the sea, you know, because the ocean don't just sit still, nor does your brain. Different times of the day, you have to find what they call your sweet spot. Your sweet spot for learning. For some people, they learn best in the morning. Other people, it's late at night. But whatever your sweet spot is, that's where you target your attention. And so, this is just to put a cap in on that video that they cut me off with the sister, because they don't like it when I start getting that masculine feminine interaction, and all of the people start to feel the energy flow, and they want to be in on that. So they try to interfere with that at every turn. So every chance I get to do a video with a sister, I'm gonna do one. And every time they get pissed off, I'm going to smile at them and laugh at them, because that's what they're supposed to do. Get mad and not be able to really do nothing about it but stop me. But turn the video off, but you can't stop me. And so when we put all of these things together, you have your nutrition, your methods of learning, and you have your chemistry, your biochemistry, all of that. Now, if your body is toxic, it's going to make you think sluggish. So if to keep your body from being toxic, you want to keep your liver cleansed. It's the biggest filter in the body. Clean your liver, then you take a break, because you don't want your liver to be in continuous flush mode, because then it'll begin to break down from being over cleansed. And, but that cloudiness, that fog, it's just like when you see a fish tank that's dirty. Imagine your blood being like a dirty fish tank. And now you have to think with all of those toxins built up in the brain, you know. So you're right, Kiwi. The methods of learning is very important. And reiterate something we said in the last video, because some people might not even get to see it or haven't seen it yet. But speed reading is the key to taking the brakes off the brain. The earlier you can teach a child speed reading, before he starts learning what to think, you want to teach him how to think. Then all you have to do is go to where the suburbs at, where the rich people children at, and they have critical thinking. Critical thinking, practicing problem solving from K through 12. Why? Because they took it out of the hardwired curriculum when they had children teaching children up to the adult. The children's supposed to teach the children. That's the structure. That make it stick better. And it also bridges all of the gaps in our society between the elders and the youth, which they don't want. They don't want that fire and vigor of the youth tempered with the wisdom and experience of the elder. So they're going to turn the elders against the children against the elders. We can fall for it, or we can defend against it. No, they don't teach you how to think in school or how to learn in school. Actually, what school is to teach you how to follow instructions and sit your tail in the corner and be still before we do something to you. It's just the preparation for prison. And I don't want to get too much into that right now, because we're going to talk about things we can do to improve mental processes. So proper nutrition, proper hydration. They teach us to sleep too much. If you sleep too much, your melatonin, serotonin, I'm your elder, Kiwi. We together on this. You good? I got you. But the melatonin serotonin balance be off if you sleep too much. They teach you to sleep 8 hours. Well, it's not that sleeping 8 hours is too long. It's that the 8 hours of sleep is the 8 hours of sleep is designed to murk your serotonin melatonin ratio. And the melatonin and serotonin is what regulate your waking and sleep cycles. Well, you have to train yourself. How much sleep do you need? You don't know. You have to train yourself to how much sleep you need. And they don't tell you that that's an exercise just like lifting weights to build a muscle. The amount, like Nikola Tesla slept an hour every night, 1 hour a night. That had 23 hours of activity during the rest of the day. And so, yeah, Kiwi, we on this, girl. You good. I got you. You ain't got to starve for nothing no more because I'm here to feed the mass with this information. I'm going to give it all away until somebody decides to monetize it. And when they decide to monetize it, I'm going to keep giving it away and let them monetize it. So the nutrition, the substance of the mind, and the educational program, right? All of it is about to change. We're going to go to the proper educational structure as soon as I make these suckers bow down, because they going to bow down. They don't have no, because I wouldn't have said nothing if I wasn't intending on putting my foot all the way up to my hip in their ass. All the way up to the hip. The whole foot, leg, and all. They're going to get it all. Just like they've been holding everybody down, stepping on everybody's neck, I'm here to step on theirs and move them out the way so that everybody can have a piece of the pie. There's no one person that should be richer than the rest of the world by himself without sharing the wealth. That's just wrong. And so, yep, see, they at it again. They trying to disconnect me again. But I wanted to add that as the footnote to that last video. Yep. And melatonin. Both of them are instrumental, especially when you're talking about your sacred secretions, which we ain't going here because that's too advanced for this. But when you start understanding how the mind-body correlate, and you learn how to relax your body and feel your body with your mind so that they can work together as opposed to against each other, you already then broke down about 85% of your barriers. Because the disconnect, they want to keep the mind disconnected from the body. Yep. Children are automatically designed to teach each other. If you teach one of them something, they're going to teach another one. This has another side effect too. You know all them selfish kids that only want their own toys and they don't want no, and they all, well, it stops that. Because when a child goes into teacher mode at an early age, he learns the generosity and the caring and the compassion for others. In other words, you activate what's called his mirror cells in his prefrontal lobe to help him to identify with the advancement or the suffering of others to the point where he can offer what he can. And he can successfully raise somebody up. And it don't have to always be about me. You know, I can make it about you today because you're the one graduating, not me. So I can let you have your day. I don't have to shine on your day. You can shine on your day. You know, but everybody want to shine on somebody else's day. You know, so the princess is having the party, but everybody want to dress like the fucking queen. You can't do that. That's disrespectful, rude, and that has no sense of self involved in it whatsoever. That's pure and unadulterated greed. And so, thanks, Renzo. So, let me see if anything else. Y'all got any questions before I close this? Because this was an impromptu video. I wasn't really planning it, but I had to comment on the empath. You want me to talk on the empath? Well, that was what we're talking about with the mirror cells. The empaths are those who, especially the girls. The girls' empathic ability is heightened by women's intuition. they already got a hunch, right? Now imagine this. They already got a hunch just from being a female. They already know. Now, they also are empathic. They don't just got a hunch no more. They know what your ass doing. What's going on with the women and women's intuition is all mitochondrial is connected. All mitochondrial is connected. Women can control who they tap into through their mitochondria. And when they control it, they can tap in. Like most of them know what's going on with their children before their children even know what's going on with themselves. Especially when they're in tune with themselves, because the mitochondrial will send psychic impressions to warn the mother about danger that's approaching the child. Mitochondrial will send psychic impressions to warn about an impending disaster that's coming over the horizon, and the women will have the an uneasy feeling to say, we need to go to the basement. But I just got a feeling we need to go to the basement, right? So she's trying to escape the tornado, and here come the man with his old logic that's trying to override her women's intuition. Oh, the sky look cloudy, ain't no wind blowing. This is a really nice day. We ain't going down to no basement. She's like, no, baby, I got a bad feeling. And before you know it, here we go in Kansas again, Dorothy. The trick in the relationships of men and women is for the man to learn how to adjust his mindset to know when his woman's intuition is on point. Yep, a mama can tell when her child is born. Auntie too. An auntie too. You got a certain auntie, you take one of them, a girl won't go around her if she's pregnant and she ain't supposed to be. She won't, she already know, I can't go around Aunt May. I can't do that. Why you can't go around it? Not right now, I gotta go take care of some business. She ain't never telling nobody she about to go to the clinic. So she can't go around Aunt May right now. Whichever aunt that is. Yep. Because the mitochondrial is God expression in physical form. It's the expression of God. It's pure love in a capsule. And it's used to power your DNA. Yep. In the African languages, in some of them, an auntie is called my mother's sister. When you translate it. My mother's sister. But if it's an auntie on the father's side, it'll say my mother, my father's sister. And so this is why you got a lot of historical records about, they writing about incest that never happened, because they don't understand the culture. You shouldn't be speaking on stuff you don't understand in the first place. But the cousins is my sister or my brother, the son or daughter of my mother or father's sister. We distinguish groups, like for instance, 5 siblings have children. Those children are considered among themselves as siblings. That's a disconnect right now that we have, is they not considered siblings here in modern society. You're not just a sibling to those that's a direct offspring of your parents. You are a sibling to those that's a direct offspring. Now we just use the terms nephews and nieces and cousins. Well, cousins are actually supposed to be treated as siblings until they start to mature, at which time you have separations taking place according to their specialty of training. So when we lose track of our culture, we don't know who we is, then we can't understand how we living out of context. As soon as we realize why we living out of context, we can correct it, and just by switching into the right context, it changed the whole onslaught. So I think that's all we got today on this. This is the part 2 to the mind expanding video that Kiwi Berry did earlier. So if y'all want to see the part 1, that's what it was, and she gave us that exercise that was actually a symbolic movement of the tassel of the fez in physical form. And they actually pulled that from one of the sacred temples of the pyramid priests, because that wasn't supposed to be mainstream information either, Kiwi. You tapped in on something and you kind of blew my wig with it. So I had to tell you that that's what the the whole purpose of the tassel moving around the feds or the graduation cap is all about. That mind expanding exercise you did. Yep. Amazon. Yep. That's exactly the case. Because you know, a child don't know who their siblings are if they're not told. Oh, Brazil, yeah. So Brazil is a special case because they are the most advanced in the cleanup process of the genetic spill that took place in Babylon. Brazilianization is what they call it. And Brazil executed flawlessly the cleanup, the melding pot. What we all supposed to be in over here when we allowed settlers to come to this side of the world was a melding pot in order to create a condition where nobody didn't have to go to eternal damnation or cease to exist. We could all exist as part of one human family, and we can move into a non-divide and conquer, unified humanity. And so I don't think that I missed anything on this. This mind science is heavy, but I think we pretty much about touched on all of the important parts of that. So I'm gonna look back through comments on this video, and I'm gonna look through the comments on the other video because we're gonna share them in a couple of groups. And when I go through the comments, if I see any questions that need to be answered, I'll either do a video about it or I will write the answer right here under the question. Or I might do both depending on what the question is. Because sometimes somebody asks a question that need a whole discourse off one question. But then sometimes they need a question they got a no or yes answer. So it's just depend on what the question is and how we deal with it from there. So I ain't gonna hold this video. Kiwi, we can share these into the group, and I'm gonna let y'all go ahead with this. I gotta try to make some contacts for the day to try to get this ball rolling on this resurrection program. So I don't want to stay on the phone on the video chats too long. But I had to come in and give her some support because she was on a really good topic. And so I appreciate you too, sister. Keep your head up, stay strong. We about to crack this code once and for all, because I can't do it. I'm not comfortable here. I don't want to be here if we got to be oppressed. I don't want to be here if we have to sit here and smell baby blood in the ethers, and adrenochrome in the ethers, and misery in the ethers. I don't want to be here. But I'm not going nowhere. They got to go. But I can send as many with them as want to go with them, because I'm not going. But I'm not finna stay here and smell all this baby blood continuously. Every morning I wake up with a headache because of the smell and the stench of the suffering, the children, and the rape of women. I don't have to stay here and tolerate that. I can just tear it all up and start all over. It's just the easiest way to do it. It's just that right now we in this particular situation where Mama want to save as many as who want to be saved and to give everybody an opportunity to taste the savor of heaven. Me, I'm from a different school of thought, but, you know, I gave my word to Mama, so I can't go back on that. And she said humans is not to be thrown away like trash. So I'm on a mission right now to try to keep y'all from being thrown away like trash. But that's not I don't like that peace shit. I want to tear something up, tell you the truth, but it ain't time for that because I got to exhaust all measures of diplomacy first. And so I'm going to leave this with saying, when y'all hear somebody say we are fair kind, the correct response is to be of the righteous. Is the correct response. So when they say we are fair kind, and your response, just like when they say assalamu alaikum, and you say wa alaikum salam, because we're going into judgment day. And the first person that already been judged and declared righteous was Farrakhan. And so when they say we are Farrakhan, that's for a reason. That's for a reason. Because he the only one can call judgment day besides me, Prince of Peace. I want to tear it up. So I really don't want to do no judgment. But I got to give the people the opportunity to want something better than this. It's better than this. None of y'all don't even know how good it can get. You know, everybody's supposed to do their labor for life, and then from there you're supposed to retire and live your life without labor. But now they got us thinking that our life is only about labor. That's because you're a slave and don't even know it, Neo. You already knew something was wrong, Neo. Remember, it was stuck like a splinter in your mind telling you something ain't right, Neo. And so, when they say we are Farrakhan, the correct response is be of the righteous, because it's only two positions. And those who ain't of the righteous going the way of the wicked. It's only two positions. There's no middle ground. I already told you ain't no lukewarm. You're either ice cold or you flaming hot. Ain't no lukewarm. You either in or you out. And so with that, we're going to, from the Doula Center, where we're going to be teaching toddlers and infants, by the time they get to what they call kindergarten grade school area, they'll probably be reading in high school level. Because the way that the children are, you're supposed to start teaching children in the womb. And they took that from our women. That's wrong. They took the joy of pregnancy from the women. When a woman was having a baby a long time ago before these imposters came, when a woman was having babies, she'd get with a bunch of women, and they would do all certain activities that enhances the intellect and the character of the child before it's ever fully developed. They start doing this in the womb. In the South, we got an old term, and some of us might remember or might have heard Big Mama did say, she gonna mark that baby. Or they would even go so far as to tell you how to describe how your child would look. But all of this is the same thing. It's marking the child. Plus, my phone about to die, so I'm going to have to get off here anyway. So, with that, keep y'all head up. And remember, everything they tell us the truth, but they put the slant in the view that they want us to look at it so we can never see it actually for what it is. All of the pieces to the puzzle is in plain sight, but the slant that's on how you look at the puzzle is what's altered. And if you can condition your mind to reject falsehood by just everything you read, every math problem you do, you ask yourself, self-talk is one of the most powerful educational tools they don't want you to know about. Because this is what they call the process of mentation, heavy thinking. I'm going to give y'all a book reference on heavy thinking. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. One of the baddest books you're not going to never be referred to because don't nobody want you to know about it. He also got another one called Law of Success in 16 Lessons. Y'all need to get that. That's gold. Think and Grow Rich is a watered down version of the Law of Success. And when we get these books, it's part of a curriculum that I'm giving y'all slowly. Y'all not even realizing that I'm giving you a whole liberating curriculum every time I give a book reference or article reference or chemical reference. It's an entire liberating curriculum. And so I think I got covered all I wanted to cover in here on the education. So Kiwi, message me, let me know if I did what we needed to get done in this one. And I'm gonna leave it at that, and then we'll get back on whatever is necessary next. All right, so I'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed, be of the righteous. Remember, we are Farrakhan. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, Beverly.